More than 100 South Korean women who were forced into prostitution for U.S. soldiers stationed in the country have filed a landmark lawsuit accusing Washington of abuse, according to their lawyers. Historians and rights groups say tens of thousands of women were drawn into this system between the 1950s and 1980s. The brothels, sanctioned and even managed by the South Korean government, cater specifically to U.S. troops stationed in the South after the Korean War. Many women were deceived with false job offers, while others were trapped by crushing debt and the control of state and military officials. In 2022, South Korea's Supreme Court ruled that the government had illegally established and operated these brothels. The court ordered compensation for a group of survivors, acknowledging for the first time the government's role in facilitating the exploitation. But last week, 117 victims took a bold step further and filed a new lawsuit directly targeting the U.S. military, an unprecedented move. For the first time, the survivors are demanding that Washington itself be held accountable. They are seeking a formal apology and 10 million won, around $7,000, in compensation for each victim. Unlike the better-known comfort women who were exploited by Japanese soldiers during World War II, the women forced to serve U.S. troops have remained largely invincible in public discussion. Many activists say this silence is because Washington has long been South Korea's closest ally and protector against North Korea. As a result, their suffering has been pushed to the margins of history. Historians emphasize the scale of the system as during the 1960s and 70s, the economy surrounding these military camp towns, including bars, restaurants, salons, and entertainment venues, made up as much as 25% of South Korea's entire GDP. The exploitation was not hidden, it was part of a system that benefited both governments. Survivors have shared harrowing stories of violence and control, as some recalled being beaten by U.S. soldiers simply for failing to smile or bowing their heads while serving drinks. Others said they were dragged into sexual encounters night after night. Victims reported being subjected to weekly disease tests and injected with painful treatment that left their legs weak, sometimes unable to walk. Many of these women were just teenagers when they were trapped in this cycle of abuse. Women's rights activists supporting the case argue that the U.S. military ignored South Korea's own constitution and deprived the victims of basic human rights. They stressed that the women were stripped of freedom, dignity, and the chance at a normal life. The lawsuit technically names the South Korean government as the defendant because under current law, Seoul is responsible for compensating victims of crimes committed by foreign soldiers. Lawyers explained, however, that the ultimate goal is to establish joint responsibility, holding both Seoul and Washington accountable for decades of abuse. Lawyer Ha Joo-hee, who represents the plaintiff, stated that this case is about more than money. It is about recognition, justice, and forcing powerful institutions to acknowledge the lives they've destroyed. Today, around 28,000 U.S. troops remain stationed in South Korea. The United States Forces Korea confirmed that it is aware of the lawsuit but declined to comment while legal proceedings are ongoing. It stressed, however, that it does not condone any behavior that violates South Korean laws and remains committed to discipline within its ranks. For the survivors, this lawsuit represents a fight not only for compensation but also for dignity and truth. Many are in their 60s and 70s, and activists warn that time is running out for them to see justice in their lifetime. Uche Jacinta for Eagles FM News.